Something to do, go to the movies with your tax refund check, huh? We partner with the folks from Jackson Hewitt Tax Service to bring you tax tips all this week on the Hampton Road Show. And we are happy to have Jonathan McCormick with us from Jackson Hewitt. He's the office manager, and he's back to talk about Affordable Care Act.
Yes.
Yeah, so while we're chatting here, get your questions ready because Jonathan's going to tackle them a little later on in the show.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. So the Affordable Care Act, we've heard a lot about it. Obamacare,
Right.
as a lot of people call
Right.
it. What does that have to do with me and my taxes?
Well, the good news is it doesn't have much to do with this year's, but
Okay.
it's going to impact next year's. Basically, you have to have health insurance by the time you file next year's tax return, otherwise they're going to penalize you. Now, you are potentially eligible for a subsidy, which is what the healthcare.gov website is for. The deadline for filing for that is Monday. It's
Monday, one
yes,
week
it's
from
coming
today.
One week from today.
That's coming right up.
So it is coming up right up. So if you need health insurance and you need to go that route, you need to go ahead and get on it.
Okay, so how do I do that? What do I do as this deadline approaches? Do I just...
Well, you need to
I
get
don't call you, could you?
Well, you actually can call us, especially.
Okay.
We can certainly help you with that, especially if we do your tax return, because then we already have all your
Right.
information. We'll just punch the rest of the information in. But you have to have a lot of your tax information. If you decide to go to healthcare.gov and do it yourself, it's a pretty lengthy process. You put your information in, and then they tell you if you're eligible for a subsidy. And then at that point, they give you enrollment options. Whether you're eligible for a subsidy or not, you can actually enroll through this website and actually get the health insurance that you need.
Right, sounds good. Okay, and if I don't do this, then I'm going to pay.
That's correct.
How
If you
much
don't
am I
have
going to
insurance.
pay?
Now, the penalty is at least $95 up to 1% of your income. So it could be fairly significant depending on your income.
Okay, so we need to get that done.
You do.
What else should I be looking? What are some big questions that you're getting when people will just walk in off the street
Related to the
this year?
healthcare? Or just
Related
in
to
general?
anything this year for tax tips. We're coming right up there.
Right. Well, in general, people always want to know what's new. This year, there's not a whole lot of new things. A lot of stuff kind of actually expired this coming year. And the big focus was on the healthcare, so there's not a whole lot of new things. People always want to know what to save money. The biggest thing to save, the only thing really that you can do at this point to save money for last year's tax returns is, of course, putting money into an IRA. You still have until April 15th of this year. You can retroactively put it to last year and still get a little bit of a tax benefit on the tax return that you're doing.
So there are still things I can do now to get me more money in just a couple of weeks. All right, that's perfect. That's the kind of thing we love you for. All right, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service locations are all across Hampton Roads. You can find them by calling 1-800-234-1040, or you can go to jacksonhewitt.com. And once again, Jonathan, thanks, and you'll be back to answer some questions for us a little later. All right, sounds good.